In today's video, I will be going over several weapons that were never released into Fortnite. So over the years, we've seen many weapons in Fortnite that have been leaked from the files. However, some of those weapons were actually never added into the game and were completely scrapped from Fortnite. You may have heard of these weapons from previous seasons, or you may have never even heard of them, but regardless, I'll be sharing several weapons that were never added into Fortnite that had some potential to make the game more entertaining and better. So if you guys do happen to enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could drop a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's get right into this video. Also, all video gameplay used in this video will be linked in the description down below, but getting into the first weapon, which is the power guitar. So the power guitar was actually a weapon that was supposed to be added in quite a while ago, and if you guys remember the boombox, it was essentially very similar to that. So the boombox would pretty much be something you'd throw down on the ground and it would just start breaking structures around you, and pretty much the power guitar does the same thing, except you're able to play the guitar and walk around with it, and as you're walking around with it, you'll just keep destroying structures and you can even hit opponents with it. So just imagine a portable boombox, how overpowered that would be. I can kind of see why they scrapped it, because having a portable boombox is kind of overpowered, and I don't think it would work very well in competitive. So I'll actually put some gameplay of this on screen right now. So in this gameplay, this was when it was originally leaked in the files, and pretty much the animations of the guitar is not quite added in the game at that point, but pretty much there's a beat you have to keep timing in the bottom center of your screen, and every time you hit the beat, it's pretty much playing the guitar and it's going to keep breaking structures as long as you keep timing it correctly. So having a weapon like that is actually pretty interesting, because we've never had any like timed weapon like that requires you to be accurate when hitting the beats. And yeah, it's a pretty interesting weapon overall, but I can kind of see why it was scrapped. But moving on to the next weapon, which is the Saddler gun. So the Saddler gun was supposed to be released in Chapter 3, Season 3, and you guys may remember this leaking in the files back then, but the Saddler gun was pretty much supposed to be used as a grappler. Now the Saddler was not like the normal grapplers that were added into Fortnite, or like the Spider-Man web slinger. It was more supposed to be used to grapple onto vehicles, boats, and even animals. So you could just ride like a wild wolf that was in that season back then. It was honestly a pretty cool concept they had, and I'll even play some gameplay of this being shown in the trailer. You can see a player using this to grapple onto a boat in the water, and it was a pretty cool concept added into the game, but unfortunately it was never released. And I think it was never added because you could just ride animals, use boats, and just drive cars. There was kind of not a need to grapple onto it unless you were chasing an opponent and you can grapple onto their car or boat or something. But regardless, Fortnite clearly saw that this wasn't really needed for this season, so it was kind of scrapped from the files. However, I think its concept was actually redesigned into a grappler gun for this new season in Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 3, because if we look in the trailer for this season, we can clearly see that there is a grappler gun that will be added later in the season. So it's cool that they kind of got an idea from a previous chapter and they kind of saved this concept for a later season to reinterpret it and make it better for the chapter. So if we didn't have the Saddler, we might not have this grappler gun coming into Fortnite soon. But moving on to the next weapon, which is the basic spear. So the basic spear, I will show it on screen right now, and pretty much this weapon was supposed to just be a normal spear added into Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 3, but it was actually never released into the game. And I'll roll some gameplay on screen right now so you can pretty much just see how it was used, and pretty much it's just used like a normal spear, nothing too special about it besides the actual traveling mechanic you can have with it. In this gameplay, I think it's a little buffed and you're not supposed to be able to just go flying like it as it's shown in this gameplay. I think the distance would be much shorter if it was actually added into the game, but regardless, if it it was supposed to have that sort of mobility, it would be way too overpowered to have in Fortnite, but still pretty cool overall, and I think it'd be fun to have it in the Battle Royale mode. I actually think it was added in creative. It might still be in creative right now, along with a few other weapons like that. Not completely sure, but regardless, this was never released in the Battle Royale mode. But I do think it was a pretty cool weapon, and if they obviously would have nerfed that mobility where you can just fly in the air like that, I think it would have been pretty cool to have in Fortnite. But moving on to the next weapon, which was the Firefly launcher. So the Firefly launcher was supposed to be released sometime in Chapter 4, but unfortunately it was scrapped from the game. Now there has been leaked gameplay of this. I'll put it on screen right now, and pretty much this Firefly launcher was supposed to do pretty much what is in the name, which is launch fireflies. And similar to the Firefly jars you could throw at people, this would launch fireflies at people or structures, and it would burn everything down. So I was annoyed with Firefly jars when they were in the game, so I'm sure I would be annoyed with the launcher as well, and I think it could possibly be overpowered depending on how much damage it does, and it would burn a lot of structures as well. However, I do think this would be a super fun weapon to use in the game. You could just launch and spam fireflies at your opponents, and Sweats would definitely have a hard time defending against it. But regardless, I think the Firefly launcher could have been a pretty cool weapon added into the game. However, it was unfortunately scrapped like a bunch of other good weapons. But moving on to the next weapon, which was the backpack minigun. Now the backpack minigun, I'll put it on screen right now. It does look like a normal minigun. However, there are some major differences with this minigun, and it is possibly one of, if not the most overpowered spray guns in all of Fortnite history. I'll also put some gameplay on screen right now, and pretty much there is absolutely no recoil with this minigun. So it's going to be super easy to aim and take out your opponents, and there's also no recharge like the original minigun, which means you can just keep spraying at people and you will not have to reload or anything. You can just keep spraying at people until your ammo runs out. So it doesn't matter how many times your opponent keeps building, you can literally just keep spraying them until they're eliminated or until you run out of ammo. Also, with the original minigun, it would take about 3 seconds maybe to charge up to start shooting. This one automatically starts shooting, so you don't need to wait like 2 or 3 seconds for it to start shooting. So yeah, this one was extremely overpowered, and it might be a good thing that Fortnite did not add this into Battle Royale. But moving on to the next weapon, which is also the final weapon I'll be going over for this video, which was the Zapatron. Now the Zapatron is probably the most known Fortnite weapon that was never officially added into Battle Royale. However, it was accidentally added into Battle Royale all the way back in Chapter 1 Season 1. And this one might be more overpowered than the backpack minigun, because you can literally just zap your opponents from pretty much any distance and do an insane amount of damage. Obviously, there's very limited gameplay out there, as it was quickly removed from the game. And like I said, it's the most well-known one, so there's a good chance you guys already knew of this weapon. But regardless, it's still one of those weapons that you kind of wish was in Battle Royale, because it would have been a lot of fun to try out. I'm pretty sure it's actually possible to get it in creative mode though, so if you really want to try it out, I think you need Unreal Engine to add it into your map. It is still possible to at least try out, but unfortunately it was never in Battle Royale. But anyways guys, that is going to do it for this video. There are some more unreleased weapons that I'd eventually like to discuss, so if this video gets 25 likes, I'll go ahead and make a part 2 of this and share more unreleased weapons that were never added into Fortnite. But thank you all so much for watching this video, and if you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I'm getting super close to 8,000 subscribers, so it means a lot to me if you guys could subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.